Hey friends, welcome to today's video. My name's Stephanie and today I'm going to be sharing my polish pickup wish list for November. It is so crazy that it's already time for another polish pickup, which if you don't know, polish pickup or PPU for short is this monthly pre-order marketplace that takes place on the first weekend of every month. There are a ton of indie brands that participate and they usually create a nail polish, but there are other nail related items like cuticle creams, base and top coats, sugar scrubs, and more. So this month's PPU is going to be from Friday, November 1st through Monday, November 4th, and the theme for this month is nostalgic toys. Now, I don't know if this nostalgic toys is like a recurring theme every November, the way that we always see a Halloween theme for September, but I was pretty excited to see this as a theme because I feel like it's just so perfect leading into the winter holiday season, and I just couldn't wait to see what the makers were inspired by. But I will save more of my thoughts for the end, so for now, let's just get into the website. Okay, so here is the polish pickup website for this month. The pre-order is from November 1st through the 4th, and the theme is nostalgic toys. And first, I guess I want to mention too that they do have here on the homepage the indie Black Friday sales list, which I'm assuming will be updated because right now a lot of it is blank, but really cool that they have like the whole list here. So it's like easy to find the brands that, you know, you're interested in and finding what their sales information is for Black Friday, because that is right around the corner. But anyway, let's go straight into the nail polish. And as usual, we are going to be looking at the first two rows here. And there's a lot of blue, kind of pretty, but not anything that's immediately standing out. Maybe the one is Atomic Polish California Raisins, but this also just reminds me so much of one of the Mooncat multi-chromes that just came out, so I can safely skip that one. So we can already just move on to the next chunk here. And okay, from this, I already saw Caitlin's video and she shared this by Danny Viana shade, Feed Me, which is inspired by Tamagotchis, and I never had one growing up. I literally saw some in Barnes & Noble when we went over the weekend, and I was so close to getting one, but I didn't, and now I kind of regret it, but I mean, I can always go back and get one. But this polish, I have to put it on my wish list. Like, it is so freaking cute. It was one of those shades that I just immediately gasped when I was watching her swatch this one. I mean, obviously everything is gonna look amazing on Caitlin, but there is just something so cute about this Crelly. I just love the colors in this. If I'm being super nitpicky, the only thing I don't really like is how some of the glitters are like really big. Like, I could have done without that just larger size, you know, but that I think is gonna be fine. I can work around it, remove it from my nail or whatever. I'm just so obsessed with how this looks. So yeah, that was an immediate add to my wish list. Even though I don't really wear Crellys that often anymore, maybe this will inspire me to get back into them. So back to this page here. I am not super drawn to anything else. I mean, the Cadillacer definitely looks really cool, but you guys already know I'm not super interested in buying any thermals, but I do love the colors of that one. The only other thing that's kind of catching my eye is this double bond base coat, because it's like inspired by the Easy Bake brownies, which I also never had, but I imagine it would smell so good. So I am a little tempted by that, but I don't need it. I don't need another base coat, so I'm gonna keep scrolling to the next chunk. So okay, from this chunk, there's definitely some pretty shades that are like kind of standing out, but not any that I want to tap into. The one that immediately caught my eye was Danglefoot It's Glow Time, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, it was reminding me of a Mooncat shade, and I think I'm thinking of Poisonberry, so I don't want to tap into this because I don't want to see other photos where it might look different, and then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I can like justify that. In my mind, I'm just gonna call these dupes and leave it at that. The cuticula is super beautiful too, but that's kind of giving me like Mooncat's mermaid bait or something. We've definitely seen that kind of color combination before, so I'm totally comfortable skipping that. And yeah, the other shades aren't really grabbing me, so we can finally move on to page number 2. And okay, that Dreamland lacquer Sea Winkle, I don't know what the reference is, but it looks really pretty. You guys know I'm such a sucker for a purple with a blue shimmer, and I feel like I had a few last year, but then I was like, they're pretty, but I don't need so many. I don't think this is a dupe by any means, but it does kind of remind me of Cirque's Isle of Capri, maybe is probably the closest one, but I imagine Dreamland is going to be a lot more opaque than Cirque because that one is like definitely on the more sheer side. So yeah, definitely, you know, some pretty shades here, but I can move on to the next chunk. And here I do remember seeing the Glisten and Glow, and it like kind of looks nice. Oh, I wish that there were more photos. I'm sure they'll come up like later in the week. Yeah, it's like, you know, a pretty color, but not something that I think I would actually end up wearing all too often, you know, so I'm just gonna skip that. The Kathleen & Co. Glow So Bright, this one looks really pretty too, but you know what, it is kind of reminding me sort of Holo Taco's Wasted Space, or maybe even something from Island P, but I know for sure it's giving me Wasted Space vibes, so yeah, talked myself out of that. And I remember seeing Ray share this KB shimmer, Reach for the Stars, which I also gasped at the shade. You know, I love a lime green. I love a gold shimmer. This is giving like such Tinkerbell vibes, even though I'm pretty sure, oh no, this is inspired by Glow in the Dark Stars. I think from the name, I thought it was like Buzz Lightyear or something, but it is such a cute glow in the dark shade. I feel like this may be a potential dupe, but not exactly, to My Bugs from Mooncat's Nightmare Before Christmas collection. So in case you missed out on that one, I think this would be a really good alternative. I think the glow is different. I mean, I'm pretty sure Ray said that it glows green, but I feel like some of these photos look almost aqua. But either way, I feel like the KB shimmer is a little bit lighter too. So again, not like exact dupes, but a good backup in case you missed that one. So okay, finally going back, we can move on to the next chunk, and oh my god, you already know. Oh my, okay, well there's two, but the first one is Lumen. Just give me a second, okay? Let me, first of all, Betty Spaghetti, I loved her. I loved Betty Spaghetti. This was like a memory that I forgot that I had. I mean, I probably did remember at some point that I had like a Betty Spaghetti, but it's just not as common, you know, as like Barbies and stuff, which obviously I also had, but the shade is so freaking pretty. It kind of, in some of these, you know, photos, like the lighting was sort of reminding me of Cirque's Flamingo from their California Dreamin' collection, where it's kind of like that neon corally kind of base. But then there's other photos like this one that it looks much more blue toned, and it's kind of hard to gauge like exactly, you know, the shade of pink that it is, which I feel like is going to be hard anyway with these kind of like neon shades. You can see just how crazy it looks here, but like in a good way, right? At least I think so. It looks so stunning. Oh man, this is one that is tempting me for the color, obviously, but also for the inspiration. How stinking cute. I shouldn't get this. I'm not going to. No, I'm not going to. We are swiping out of there, but what a beautiful shade. Maybe in another life, I would own that polish, but not in this one. And the other one that immediately caught my eye was the Linby Designs, which is another vibrant hot pink. This one has a different kind of glow where it's almost like a glow from within. Ugh, I love shades like this. I personally don't think I have. Actually, wait, no, I I might have something like this from Lurid that my bestie sent to me. So yeah, I don't think I need this either, but it is really beautiful. Treasures or bugs, inspired by the Creepy Crawlers toy. I am not familiar with that, but I am not a fan of bugs, so you know what, even just for the inspo, I will be passing. But yeah, those are beautiful. As far as the other shades, the Lucky 13 is immediately reminding me of, I think it's called Lily, the pastel purple from Island P, their spring collection earlier this year, so that's another easy skip. The Monarch does look really cool with those like aqua kind of flakies. I love the contrast, especially against the darker base color. Like if this wasn't a thermal and it just, you know, looked like the cold state all the time, I think I would consider getting this because those flakies look so insane and I feel like I would love that for the winter time. So, you know, it being a thermal like is cool, but I don't know. I don't want to get it, I guess out of principle or something. So the only other one from this chunk here that I'm, well, not eyeing, like it just, you know, it caught my eye is Moonshine Manny because it just immediately reminded me of Cirque's Velveteen, but this is obviously a magnetic and it also has these like little kind of teal aqua sort of flakies, which are so interesting. Like I sort of feel conflicted about them being in here because I feel like it kind of doesn't match with the polish, but at the same time they're like really pretty. So it's definitely like a cool shade, but yeah, not one that I'm like really jumping to get or anything. So we can finally move on to page number 3, and the polish, I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna get it because it immediately reminds me of Mooncat's After the Rain, which like just came out. I think this is a little bit more blue or sheer or just lighter in general. Oh wow, it looks really blue here. A pale lilac periwinkle. So, I mean, the blue is still pretty, but I don't love how different it could look. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter because I basically already have a shade very similar to this, but that one is beautiful. I'm not super crazy about anything else. I mean, the Noodles nail polish I want to tap into just to see, oh my god, yeah, I think I had this. The Holiday Barbie for 1994. I'm gonna have to Google her because the one that I have in my mind, there was a lot of gold, but also red. Such a beautiful Barbie. I remember loving her hair, at least, you know, if I'm thinking of the same one. If not, I'm still sure like it's gonna be a beautiful Barbie, but yeah, I won't get that one. I just wanted to see if that was like the reference. And then from the bottom row, the Penelope Luz is definitely standing out the most to me, like just such a vibrant blue. I'm pretty sure Caitlin had also swatched this one, but I remember when I watched her swatches, I was like, oh, that's pretty, but it reminds me of, you know, Island P's 0 Degrees or something, and I already have that. I love that shade, but I feel like all of the photos here are looking a lot more cobalt, maybe. Like it's just a different shade of blue and it's just so intense. So I am kind of tempted by it, but I don't know. I don't really wear magnetics like all too often, but that one is so pretty. I might consider it, but I don't know. I'm on the fence. I mean, I guess, you know, if I'm going to be considering it, I should add it to my wish list and then I'll remove it later. But yeah, maybe I just need to look up more video swatches of it, but this one is just so stunning. But anyway, going back from there, the other shades, like, you know, are pretty but not anything that I really care to add to my collection, so we can move on. Okay, I know so many people are going to be going crazy over the Sassy Sauce because it's basically a thermal version of Cockadoodle Doom, which, you know, is such an iconic shade. And in case you didn't see that one video that I shared a couple of months ago at this point, talking about polishes I regret buying, I included Cockadoodle Doom, which, you know, is an unpopular opinion, but I just pretty much already had something like it in my collection. So, you know, it's a beautiful shade, don't get me wrong, but just not one that I would wear if I already have something like it, you know? That being said, it's cool that there is a thermal option, but I think if I am being honest, like I love the colder state, like that reddish color more, and it just reminds me of Island P's Sabrina or even Mooncat's Bottled Rage, so that one I can also skip. And the only other one that is kind of catching my eye here is the Psyche Minerals, which I think is a reflective. Oh, and this is another like Tamagotchi and Gotchi Glare. Okay. I don't know why I just did not connect that with the name, but this is described as a juicy red jelly loaded with red reflective glitter and hollow shimmer. I guess, okay, yeah, seeing it in other photos, I can see that like bright red. Just going off of these photos, I thought it was going to be darker, more of like a brick red, and you know, that's pretty unique to my collection, so I would have picked it up. I mean, I guess these are the photos that have flash, which makes it like look even brighter, because if this is the photo, oh well, this says sunlight, right? So okay, this is a sunlight photo. You see how bright cherry red this is. I already have KB Shimmer's, I think it's called Noel It All, or Noel It All, depending on how you pronounce it. And so I would consider it to be a dupe, but if it really is like this darker red, I am kind of tempted by it. I just love that like brick kind of color that it has, but I don't know, it just seems like I think it's too much. I already have a lot of brick reds. I can just add some, you know, sparkle on top. I guess I don't have a red reflective glitter topper, but I could easily get one. So yeah, I talked myself out of that, and we can move on to the next chunk here. The Sweetheart polish is kind of catching my eye just because it's like such an obnoxious kind of orange, which I do love, but it also reminds me of Island P's like Hayride or something like that. Maybe Cirque's Citrine, which actually I think they discontinued. So, you know, if you missed out on that one, maybe this is a good alternative, but I feel like some photos it leans a bit more orange. Either way, it's a beautiful finish. I feel like it's really pretty for this time of year, but I will not be grabbing it. So yeah, from here, again, I'm not really too drawn to anything else. I mean, I see that the Vibrant Scents top coat is also in like that easy bake brownie flavor scent, whatever. That sounds delicious. The Cuticula top coat looks like it's candy scented, which is so tempting, but I just don't need another top coat right now. So I am finally just going to scroll on to page number 4, and we just have 2 polishes and I'm not interested in either of them. So that means the last thing that we are going to look at is the KB Shimmer Sugar Scrub, which I do remember Ray already like reviewing, and yeah, it's banana coconut. And I know she said it did smell good, and she's not a big fan of like banana, which I guess I'm kind of, I don't know, like I love those little banana candies, like, you know, the hard candies, love those. Oh, and also, wow, I just had this like brain blast. Do you guys remember these? I'll put a picture, obviously, if I can like find it, but it's like these fruit little containers that had powder inside, like, you know, flavored, like think of a pixie stick kind of powder, but it was inside these little, you know, fruits with like little twist tops or something. I remember loving the banana flavor of that, and just also the smell of it. So I don't know, I guess I am a fan of like banana, but I don't know, this just seems like it seems too summery to get right now, which I know is so silly, especially because I am planning on picking up some scrubs over Black Friday from KB Shimmer, and there are a few scents that, you know, are gonna be out of season, but I don't know, I think I would rather get just some scrubs directly from the website than get this one, but it does sound tempting. I feel like if this had come out in like, you know, a summer month, I would be like, okay, you know what, I'll try it. But because it's cold, I'm telling you, when it comes to me being a seasonal person, it is like through and through. It is just so weird for me to think of banana coconut and like any kind of tropical vibe when I'm freezing, you know? Obviously, I would rather be warm and vacationing on a beautiful beach and everything, but it's just not how my brain works. So yeah, unfortunately, I will be skipping the scrub this month. And so that means we can finally look at my wish list. wishlist, and there's just 2 polishes, and for sure I will be getting one of them, but I'm still on the fence about Penelope Lou's. It does look so cool. I feel like it is kind of reminding me of Island P's Shooting Star, which is like a bit of a brighter blue, but that one has this like pinky purple shimmer outside of it. And I remember saying back then, like, I almost wish it didn't have that. Like, I wish it was just blue, but I'm debating, like, is it gonna be too similar to that one, you know? So this is what my wish list looks like for now. For sure getting by Danny Viana, which is gonna be my first one, so that's gonna be exciting too. But yeah, I will just have to wait and see about the Penelope Lou's. So that wraps up my polish pickup wish list for November. As always, I would love to know what you think of what's on my wish list, or just what you think of this month's theme in general. Because like I mentioned in the intro, I was really excited for it just because I was looking forward to seeing like the inspirations from all the makers. But obviously, as you saw me going through the website, not a lot jumped out at me. I feel like I was extra, like, I don't want to say critical, but I don't know, I just wasn't as interested in a lot of the polishes, and I am kind of bummed about that. Like, it sort of reminds me of a few months ago or earlier in the year where there was the one theme about video games, and I was like excited to see, you know, the potential references. And I don't know, I just love when like a polish can really capture the essence or vibe of the inspiration, and it's just so satisfying to me. So I was kind of hoping to see more of that this month, but I also don't want to complain about not buying more, because, you know, I'm always complaining about running out of room in my collection, so I have to be picky about what I'm actually adding. So yeah, I'm really curious to know if you are familiar with a lot of the references this month, if there were some that like really caught you. I feel like there were a lot of like Furby related ones, and I don't think I ever had a Furby. I feel like I always thought they were kind of like creepy or ugly. So yeah, make sure you let me know what's on your wish list this month. As a reminder, I am going to be posting my final order over on my community tab on Friday morning, so stay tuned for that if you want to update me with your final order, or let me know if you're going to be skipping entirely, because I know November is also like the month of sales with Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Everything is happening this month in like a couple of weeks, and I feel like a lot of people mentioned that they were going to be skipping PPU entirely this month to focus on sales, and I actually think I did that last year, but I don't know, I was really tempted by the theme this month, and thankfully I'm only getting 2. So I hope you liked the video. Let me know any and all thoughts you have down below so we can chat about it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!